So then guys, in 2025, Apple have loads of new products that come out and we've heard so many leaks and rumours all about them. And today I want to tell you all the details about all the products that are going to be coming out probably before the summer time. So let's begin, and to start with, let's start then with the successor to the iPhone SE. So right now with the iPhone SE, the last time we had this updated was back in 2022. We didn't actually get a design change or anything like this. It's still based on the iPhone 8 design, but the main change we got inside it is we got an A15 chip put inside of it, and we also got 5G introduced for the first time into an SE model. But moving over now to 2025, it's about time we got an update to the iPhone SE, and the great news is we're going to be getting a brand new design. In fact, recently we've had a leak in showing us these sort of dummies that you can see right here from Sonny Dixon, who's basically telling us that it's going to be based on an iPhone 14 design. So we're going to be getting things still like the notch most likely, and also we won't be getting, say, the action button, and also it is going to be based on the 6.1-inch display iPhone SE. So don't expect, say, a mini version of the iPhone SE. But one of the big things to take away from this new phone is that definitely we're going to probably be getting an OLED display inside of it for the first time in an iPhone SE model. Don't expect it to be Pro Motion or anything, and also it's going to be a 48 megapixel camera snapper on the very rear of this phone too. It's going to be really great, but there'll only be one camera, and this will just be a wide sort of sensor that we'll get. But the main star of the show is definitely going to be the actual chip what's going to be put inside of this phone, and that's going to be most likely the A18. Now the main reason why the A18 and not the A17 Pro is because the USB port at the bottom, the USB-C port, obviously the speeds of this need to probably run at USB 2.0 speeds, just like the iPhone 16 for example, and so for that only the A18 is compatible at the moment to run with this and also give Apple Intelligence at the same time. So this is most likely going to be the case. We're going to get the A18 with 8 gigabytes of RAM, and then also the USB-C port at the bottom just running at USB 2.0 speeds. Now, for price of this new iPhone, well, most likely it's going to increase a little bit more, especially that we've got some new tech inside of it and things like this. At the moment, it currently sells for $430 from Apple's website, but we've been hearing that it's probably more likely it's going to be $499 that we're going to be charged for this new iPhone. So just be aware of that. But this is not just the only thing that we're going to potentially be seeing at an Apple event. Oh no, we're also going to be potentially be seeing the updated version of this here. This here is the MacBook Air, and more than likely the actual MacBook Air design is going to stay exactly the same like we have right now. So this has been the same for the last 2 generations, ever since the M2 and then into the M3, but the main big difference will definitely be the chip put inside of it. Now there will probably be 2 variations of the chip put inside of the MacBook Air, and for the 13-inch model, the baseline version, more than likely what's going to happen with that is that we will have, say, the 9-core CPU option with the 10-core GPU. So I'm talking about the 6 efficiency cores and 3 performance cores, but you'll be able to upgrade it probably for about $100 more to get that extra performance core if you really want that. Now obviously there will be the 15-inch model, and that will come with the full fat version of the M4, so that's the 10-core CPU and also the 10-core GPU. And the other great thing I'm going to say is that all of the MacBook Airs will start out with 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is really great news to hear. And most likely we'll just have the option to go up to 24 gigabytes as an upgrade option. But for storage, it's probably going to be staying at 256 as the baseline amount of storage for both the 13 and the 15-inch MacBook Airs. But really, nothing else is probably going to change. The price is probably going to stay exactly the same. And the only other thing I possibly would say is that battery life might increase by an hour or so on both the 13 model and also the 15-inch model. Just like what we got with the MacBook Pros, we got an increase of battery life there. It's more than likely because the M4 is more efficient than, say, the M3, that we will also get this too with the MacBook Air. So this is going to be really great news to hear with this. Now, on a side note, a lot of you guys are probably also wondering, when is the event going to be happening? Now, I am going to have to admit here, it's not going to happen in January time, a bit like what the thumbnail has been saying, and a few other YouTubers have also been saying that there's potential it could happen. Now, what could happen is that we could get a press release for the MacBook Air by the end of January, beginning of, say, February time potentially, but if we are going to get an event, it's more likely it's going to be around March time or even into April time. This is the most likely time that Apple do this, and they've done this in previous years, so this is probably more likely, but probably around about February time, we'll probably be able to gauge more the exact date of when this event is going to be. So definitely stay, connected with this channel to find out more information when that day is going to be. So the best thing you can do is subscribe to this channel and also hit that notification bell too. But moving on then from this, what else could we potentially be seeing at this new Apple event? Well, one thing we could actually get an update on is the Mac Studio. So the Mac Studio is definitely one of the last sort of Macs out there to get an M4 chip put inside of it. And we're most likely going to be getting the M4 Max, the same M4 Max that we have like in the MacBook Pros, but we're also going to be getting the M4 Ultra. Now the M4 Ultra is a bit of a hit and miss in what we know how it's going to work. It could possibly be two M4 Maxes stitched together, like Apple have done in the past with the M1 Max and the M2 Max, but there again, they could actually redesign the whole M4 Ultra chip from the ground up, and it could be super powerful. And this is going to be really interesting to see how powerful this new chip is going to be in the M4 Ultra, but it definitely is going to blow everything out there out of the water, and it's definitely going to be a crazy Mac to actually own with that chip inside of it. Now, most likely the pricing is going to stay exactly the same to like what we have with, say, the M2 Max and the M2 Ultra Mac Studio right now, but one thing that I would also say is that there is the possibility we could get, say, a new space black color introduced to the range this time round. Would be really, really cool, but likely that this item or this product is probably not going to come out potentially in spring, but maybe just before the beginning of summer, or even in summer, even possibly at WWDC 2025, when we could actually see the introduction to this new Mac Studio. And going along with that too is the actual studio display. Now, there's only been a few leaks and drips and drabs coming in about the new studio display, and the main thing is that it is going to be updated. Now, personally, I cannot really see this new display being an OLED display, because at the end of the day, the current one's an LED display, and if Apple were to bring OLED into this, they're probably going to have to increase the price by at least $1,000 from Apple's point of view. In reality, it probably doesn't need to have that, but that's Apple's point of view, and they probably don't want to introduce such a big tax on their actual displays. So more than likely, what they're probably going to do is probably bring mini LED to the actual studio display, but I actually think the design will be very similar. Maybe the bezels might be a little bit more smaller potentially, but the other thing that would probably most likely come along with this is ProMotion, because right now, apart from the big sort of studio display, the really expensive one, the one where you have to pay like $1,000 for the stand, nothing like this has actually a ProMotion display coming from Apple to be a desktop screen. So, to actually have ProMotion, mini LED, this just makes a lot of sense for Apple to do this time round. And most likely when this does come out, it will be around the same time when the Mac Studio is coming out. And at the moment, like we said, the planned sort of time will be that is going to be in spring, or more likely it's going to be at WWDC 2025, and that's going to be early June time. So this is when this is going to be happening. But something that's going to be happening way before WWDC 2025, and that is the giveaway we are doing on this channel for this that you can see right here. This here is a Mac Mini, and this is an M4 Pro Mac Mini, and I'm going to be giving this away to one lucky subscriber at the end of March time this year in 2025, and you can enter into this giveaway right now. All you have to do to enter into this giveaway is quite simply, at this stage, is put down in the comments below of what technology gear you're hoping to get in 2025. It could be Apple related or not. So for example, I plan on getting the Switch 2. I cannot wait for that. And also I am looking forward to the M4 Ultra Mac Studio, and I do plan to get that too. But maybe you're going to be getting something different. Maybe you're going to get an iPhone. Maybe you're going to be getting yourself maybe a Switch 2 as well, or maybe one of the new NVIDIA graphics cards. Let me know in the comments below. And the other thing that I will also say with that is, like I said, near the end of March time, I will be making a video giving you more details about the giveaway, and there will be a form to fill in around that time, and all the details, like I said, will be in that video. And I'll also be giving you the time of when I'll be doing the live stream to announce who the Mac Mini is going to be going to. And you won't want to miss out on that. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also hit that notification bell. And plus you want to be a subscriber too, because obviously I'm giving this away to a subscriber. The last thing I just want to quickly say is that sadly there are still lots of scammers and spammers out there. People still impersonate me, telling to WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, by direct message. Please do ignore these people. Best you can see right here. Please do report them. So moving on from that, what else are we likely going to see before the summertime? Well, definitely we're going to be getting some updates on iPads. Now, to start with, we're going to be getting the updates to the 11th generation iPad. We've had the 10th generation iPad since 2022, and obviously, that one then came out with the A14 chip inside of it, and it came out with some brand new colors and things like this. There was a whole new design, as it were, for the baseline iPad. Now, more than likely, the design is not going to change whatsoever. So all those accessories that you might have got for it now are going to work with the 11th generation if you're going to invest in one of them. But the biggest change what's going to happen with this iPad is definitely the chip inside of it. Now, we have heard leaks and rumors that, potentially could have the A17 Pro inside of it or the A18. Now, personally, in my opinion, I think it's going to be the A18. The main reason behind this is because of the USB controller. In the A17 Pro, we actually have the ability to have USB 3.0 speeds on the iPad bottom port. And to me, this would just be ridiculous to add this to this kind of iPad as the baseline, and that more than likely it's going to have USB 2.0 speeds, and this means that the only chip with Apple Intelligence enabled on it is the A18 to make this work. So I think more than likely we're going to get the A18 put inside of it, and then what potentially could happen is the actual clock speed could be drawn down a little bit, and we have seen Apple do this in the past with other versions of their chipsets, but we'd still get Apple Intelligence and all those features, but probably that port will still be USB 2.0. But like I said, most likely we're going to see an update to this. Is probably going to be at the spring event in March or April time, so this is definitely going to be exciting to see. But one thing that I would also go with that is more likely that Apple are going to actually bring this new iPad in alongside, say, the 10th generation. So the 10th generation right now, you can pick it up for $349 from Apple's website, but more likely that the new version is probably going to cost us back to the original price of $449, what the 10th generation cost us when it first came out. And probably Apple will offer both of these. And again, Apple have done this in the past, and in fact they did this when the 10th generation iPad came out. They kept the 9th generation too, and they're probably going to offer this as two things that you can actually buy. So yeah, just be aware of this. The only other iPad that is potentially going to be getting an update in springtime is actually the iPad Air. Now with the iPad Air, we've actually heard that there's the potential we could get an M3 put inside of it, or even the M4. Personally, I think it's going to be the M3 because in the past, the iPad Air has always been around about a generation behind the iPad Pro, and it wouldn't make sense to actually put, say, the same chip in an iPad Air as the iPad Pro, because more people probably point towards getting yourself an iPad Air because definitely of the cheaper price there for it. So we'll just have to wait and see on that, but personally, I think it's going to be the M3, but there is the possibility we're going to have the M4. But the other thing what's also going to come along with this is that we're going to potentially getting a new keyboard, Magic Keyboard, and the main reason behind this because this is the only iPad at the moment really that doesn't have any function keys with a working keyboard with the actual Magic Keyboard right now, because we're still using the older generation. So there will be a new one coming out with that with function keys, and this is definitely going to be really useful. But like I said, most likely March or April time we will see this. Then lastly, what we could see in springtime or even possibly at WWDC 2025 is the introduction to the new HomeKit and also the new HomePad. Now I say HomePad because essentially what this is going to be like a iPad, well, it's going to be docked on kind of say of a mini sort of version of a speaker, of like a HomePod. And what you'll be able to do with this HomePad is be able to, for example, talk to Siri, Apple Intelligence, and things like this, and also, for example, control bits and pieces in your house. Now we've also have heard leaks and rumors bouncing around that we're going to be getting some new security cameras coming from Apple using Face ID and things like this, what's going to be pretty cool. But a lot of these leaks and rumours have been kept underground at the moment, but the only main thing that we have been told is that these are coming out in 2025. And personally, when this does come out, I do think that the update to the Apple TV will also come alongside this, because this just makes sense to have this, and most likely that Apple TV will probably have an A17 Pro put inside of it, or even the A18 inside of it, again to give it Apple Intelligence features. What is going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be a screamer of a streaming device out there, and also there's the possibility that this could unlock the ability to have Apple game abilities, so we'll be able to play a lot of great games on this as kind of like a semi-console replacement. So this is going to be absolutely awesome. But really guys, that is the latest and greatest that we know for the newest products that are going to be coming out in the first half of 2025. Are you excited about them? Are you going to be getting any of these? Let me know in the comments below. And with that as well guys, it's time to wrap up this video too. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button. Also, if you want to hear the latest Apple news, reviews and comparisons too, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also hit that notification bell. Until next time guys, I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye bye.